When I talk about the endless rise of cloud computing, there's a lot more to the story than software as a service and data centers. Tons of companies use some form of what's known as hybrid infrastructure, where they're using some old-fashioned on-premise software, some private cloud solutions, and some public cloud networks. Many businesses have a kind of a hodgepodge approach to information technology, to put it politely, which brings me to Nutanix, NTNX. It's a company that deals in what are known as hyper-converged systems. Plain English, Nutanix has a cloud platform that combines all of a business's server management, storage, and virtualization needs into a single package, allowing clients to run their servers more cheaply and more efficiently. Plus, with this platform, you can roll out new technology a lot more quickly. Now, for the last year, Nutanix has been on fire. It's nearly tripled over the past 12 months. But in recent weeks, stocks cooled a bit. When the company reported last week, it delivered better than expected revenues, up 41% year over year. But they also gave us a wider than anticipated earnings loss. And while management raised their sales forecast, they lowered their earnings forecast because they're hiring people so rapidly. And that's to meet demand. Meanwhile, Nutanix is shifting toward a more software-focused model, not cheap, even as I think it's certainly the right thing to do. Stock initially got hit on the news, although since then it's made up most of its losses. We're giving back some today. Makes sense to me. As far as I'm concerned, it's crazy to punish a growth stock for spending a lot of money. When they're growing, stock's up 51% for the year. Do not take it from me. Let's check in with Dheeraj Pandey. He's the co-founder, chairman, and CEO of Nutanix. Get a better sense of how this great company is doing and where it's headed. Mr. Pandey, welcome back to Mad Money.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, you guys are doing so well. I downloaded your app, by the way. I get pushed a lot of stuff by you. And the only reason I understand, I have to admit, it's a little bit hard to understand. But I want you to explain to people the idea that your mission is to make infrastructure invisible, because it's a constant theme in what I read about you guys.
Yeah, I think computing has gone through a lot of modernizations every decade. The last modernization of data center infrastructure was more than 10 years ago with this advent of virtualization software. And with that came a lot of sprawl and inefficiencies and people trying to fit old wine in new bottles. I think that's how Nutanix was born, when we looked at the inefficiencies of virtualization with a lot of computing sprawl that was going on. So we had to re-architect everything for the world of virtualization, which is how this idea of hyperconverged infrastructure really came about. And going forward, there's another modernization that's about to happen in the cloud, and that's another opportunity for us to really go and improve efficiencies and reduce the sprawl in cloud. I mean, people are thinking about what does it mean to really go towards cloud. There's a huge issue of cost governance and security compliance that in this multi-cloud world, Nutanix is going to really solve. So there's Act 1 was when we were modernizing infrastructure for the first time 10 years ago. Act 2 is starting as we talk about hyperconvergence of clouds, not just hyperconvergence of boxes, which is what we did in the last 8 years.
All right, now, we also have been big fans of VMware as well as Nutanix. You guys do go at it at times. Enough business for everybody?
Yeah, there's enough business for everybody. Obviously, we are taking a very different design point. It's more about consumer-grade infrastructure. It's about saying, what does it mean to really up-level the consumption, rather than thinking about specialists. Can we have cloud generalists go and manage this cloud? Because it's going to be about the public cloud, the private cloud, everything in the middle as well. So it's really about bringing an Apple and Amazon-like simplicity and an e-commerce-like consumption model to infrastructure itself. And that is a level playing field when it comes to the public cloud itself.
Okay, we often hear executives come on in your position. They say, listen, we've got a land and expand philosophy. And then I never hear anything about how they expand. You've got a chart in your deck which shows you guys have done rather remarkable once you're in, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, we look at our customers, you know, like JetBlue and Amgen and Northern Trust. Many of these companies, they really started small, because that's the essence of cloud, is to start small and pay as you grow. And we're bringing that kind of a consumption model, the fractional consumption model, to on-prem as well. And you'll see us do this across both on-prem and off-prem. In fact, there's not just about fractional consumption, but also how do you make it delightful for developers? You know, Home Depot is one of our customers, and they recently started doing a lot of DevOps with us. You know, they recently won an award at our .next user conference into building containers and the next generation of compute technologies onto Nutanix itself.
So it's kind of a festival, that conference, right? I mean, I know you said it was standing room only. You had Anthony Bourdain. I mean, what does it do for your brand recognition?
Well, I think the biggest power of this conference is really about the power of social proof. When customers talk to customers, when prospects talk to customers, when partners talk to customers, I think that's where you see the groundswell appear. There's a movement around Nutanix right now that I feel really good about. In fact, it is very unique because there are pure play cloud companies, there's the stodgy hardware companies, there's the last generation virtualization software companies, and here we are talking about a new design point of really blurring the lines between owning computing and renting computing. And a lot of it is about how do you make it radically simple for our customers. So people just love it when they share the notes and the success story itself. And we learn a lot. I mean, as a company, we are all about constant learning and evolution. We learn a lot about what's going on with cloud itself. There's a massive sprawl, there's a massive wastage. People don't understand security. And that's how a lot of our new sort of product ideas come about in this conference.
Well, terrific. I know that people should go. You should download it. You click on the ad, or you click on the website. You've got unbelievably good graphics. I can see why you say it's delightful, because you do a lot of teaching, and that's what I like. That's Suraj Pandey, he's the founder, chairman, and CEO of one red-hot company, Nutanix. Thank you so much, sir. Good to talk to you.
Pleasure.
Yeah, Money's back after the break.